What is going on, everybody? Ivan from Paired Recruiting here. Now let's be real. Navigating the complexities of finding the right talent is vital, but at the same time, it could be very challenging. Today, we're going to go over BreezyHR, which is known for its intuitive design and user experience. But the question you may be asking yourself is, does it truly stand out from its competition? In this comprehensive guide, we're going to cover Breezy's most notable features, go over some of the pros and cons, and see exactly what kind of businesses is it going to be best fit for. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, first things first, what is BreezyHR? Essentially, it's a modern recruiting platform that's supposed to simplify recruiting for all types of businesses. All the way from actually posting that job to going through the interview cycles to later giving out the offer and doing part of the onboarding process. The whole goal behind the platform is for you guys to save as much time as possible when it comes to recruiting and for you guys to find that top talent. Now let's go ahead and jump into some of the pros behind BreezyHR. Now first things first, it's super easy to use and its user interface is very intuitive. So let me give it to you guys straight. If you've never used another HR platform before, you should not have any issues with using BreezyHR. It's a really easy platform to pick up, and once you guys get into it, you shouldn't have an issue. All of the different features on the user interface are very cleanly laid out, and you guys should not have any issues navigating the platform. And honestly, what gives it its magic is going to be its integrated candidate sourcing. Because look, there's nothing worse out there than sitting and manually making every single job post. With BreezyHR, just with a couple different clicks, it has integrations with multiple job posts, and that way it can go out to all of them. And look, that's not only going to save you guys time, but it will ensure that you guys find that top level talent. Now, the third pro behind the platform is going to be regarding its collaborative hiring. Now, as you guys grow and there's going to be more people included in the hiring process, we want to make sure that everything stays transparent. And that's where I think BreezyHR really shines, because it allows you guys to leave notes and collaborate. There are different permission levels that you guys can go ahead and set, and that way everybody's going to be on the same page. Because look, as you guys grow, the worst thing that can happen is for things to be slipping through the cracks. And by working with BreezyHR, since everything lives under one roof, it makes it that much easier to work with your guys' team. And speaking of the devil, when it comes to things slipping through the cracks, there's nothing worse than doing things manually. And that's where automated interview scheduling comes in. Think about the recruiting process just 10 years ago. You would have to manually send reminders, send out emails, add different tasks, and make sure that everything is covered. But now there's so many different automation features out there that can take a lot of that admin burden off you guys. And that way, all the different parties are going to be happy. Because look, you got 3 different groups that care about different things. You got the recruiters, the candidates, and the hiring managers. You want to make sure that every single one of those groups is going to be up to date when it comes to the recruiting process. And the last thing you want is to accidentally send an email to a person you did not want to send an email to. And that's where those automation tools can come in really clutch. And as you guys go through the recruiting process, you'll fast see things that are working versus things that are not. So that's where detailed reporting and analytics are really going to come into play. Because look, as my very first boss would say, what doesn't get measured doesn't get improved. And if you guys don't know what's going under the hood when it comes to your guys' recruiting processes, then how are we supposed to get better? So different insights behind what is going on behind your guys' recruiting cycle can really improve the whole process. And that way, you guys will know exactly on what is working versus what is not, and which bottlenecks we should improve. And having that visual data representation is just a cherry on top. And the last thing that I would like to know is BreezyHR offers a fantastic mobile application. So if you guys are ever on the go and want to see how you guys' candidates are doing, you can do that on your guys' phone. And in this day and age, always being up to date on things can make all the difference. Now you may be thinking, this sounds great and all, but I just don't have time to manage it all myself. And that's exactly where paired recruiting comes in. Essentially, we'll do all the heavy lifting for you by finding overseas talent for you guys' business so you can go ahead and hire without hassle. Now let's go ahead and move on to the cons of using BreezyHR. Now, first things first, let's talk about the price, because I gotta be honest with you, it is not the cheapest. And if you guys are a startup or a small business, it may not be the best fit for you guys. The platform does have a lot of baked into it, and that does come at a cost. So if you guys are looking for something that's gonna be completely free or super low cost, then I would look into other solutions. Even though I mentioned that BreezyHR is highly customizable, there are some limitations you may run into. And look, don't get me wrong, for 99% of you guys that are watching this video, it's gonna do just fine. However, if you have a very complicated use case and you want something that's going to be very specific, then it may not fit that exact mold. So if you guys have a very sophisticated process and are looking for something that's going to be very specific, I may look into other solutions. And last thing to note here, and this is not going to be common, but there are going to be some occasional performance And again, this is not going to be frequent. However, this is just something to keep in mind whenever you guys are going to get a lot of candidate interactions. So overall, who is BreezyHR best suited for? For companies that are looking for something that's going to be really easy to use, I'd say BreezyHR hits the nail on the head. It's really straightforward and it's not going to take a lot of time to pick up. And in addition to that, if you guys have a very collaborative hiring process where there's a lot of different stakeholders involved, that's a really great plus for BreezyHR. As we mentioned before, there are a ton of different collaborative features built into the platform, and that's something that makes it stand out from the rest of the pack. So if you guys have a team that has never used an HR platform before, don't be worried because it's super straightforward to set it up. On the other hand of things, if you guys are a huge and large enterprise organization that's looking for something that's going to be very specific, then I'd say there's going to be other solutions out there for you. Even though BreezyHR does offer different customization features when it comes to different hiring processes, it may not be the exact thing you're looking for if you're a large enterprise organization. So I would for sure keep that in mind if I was in your guys' shoes. So final verdict, is BreezyHR worth it? Now, as I mentioned before, the answer is going to kind of depend. If you guys are a nimble and up and coming company, then I'd say 100%, because most of the time, nimble and growing companies don't need something that's going to be super specific and complicated. And because BreezyHR is super easy to get off the ground, it's pretty much a no-brainer. However, the more specific you guys' hiring process is, the more specific system you guys will need. And there you guys have it. That wraps up a detailed review of Breezy's HR platform. With its user-centric design and powerful automations, it serves as a good fit for many different companies. But remember, if you'd rather not gamble on your next hire, we got you. Paired helps you find top overseas talent, and if it's not going to be a right fit within the first 90 days, we'll replace them at no cost. So if you guys found this video helpful, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and stay tuned for more in-depth reviews and recruitment strategies. Till next time, peace.